welcome back to Hey Manager. Today we'll be looking at the latest summer transfers and who you should put into your fantasy Premier League side. The first player we'll be looking at is Kai Havertz. He's recently moved to Chelsea from Leverkusen for £72 million. The 21-year-old managed 12 goals and 6 assists in 30 games last season in the Bundesliga and picked up 4 goals and 2 assists in just 5 Europa League games. He's an exceptional talent, and at only 21 he can get much better. He's only been selected by 4% of players so far, which is amazing since Fantasy Premier League starts in just 5 days. Some of the players consist of Dele Alli, Mason Mount and Phil Foden, but these are yet to hit the heights that Kai Havertz has. He can play in that centre attacking mid-role, but likes to play on the right-hand side or as a striker position as well. His strengths consist of his dribbling, passing, finishing and heading, as well as his vision, but he lacks in tackling and defensive effort. The first 5 games for Chelsea this season are pretty simple, and I can see him picking up a lot of points if he starts the games. The only downside to Kai Havertz is, will he start ahead of Mason Mount in the first few games? Frank Lampard likes to play his academy players, but I can't see Mason Mount beating Kai Havertz at that spot, and that's why you should put him into your sides for just £8.5 million. The next player is Donny van der Beek. The Netherlands international recently joined Manchester United for €35 million. In the Eredivisie last season, he picked up 8 goals and 6 assists in just 23 games. He plays a relaxed attacking mid position and likes to sit in the midfield so it push forward. He's only been selected by 2.4% of players because he's only just been added to the Fantasy Premier League database. Similar players again consist of Fernandes, Tielemans and Kovacic from Chelsea. His strengths include his passing, his positioning, work rate, as well as his attacking movement. But his weaknesses are his decision making and vision, which can sort of be his downfall. His traits consist of playing nice little 1-2s, late runs into the box, and he likes to perform in big games, including his semi-final in the Champions League 2 seasons ago. Manchester United don't have a game for the first game week, but in their next 4 games they play Crystal Palace, Brighton, Tottenham and Newcastle. All 4 of these games are very winnable, and I can see Donny van der Beek coming off the bench and being a big impact player, and for only £7 million he might be worth having in your sides just in case he does get a few goals and assists throughout the season. Next up is Everton's new signing, Allan. Ancelotti has asked the Everton directors to bring in Allan from Napoli, and they have delivered. In the Serie A last season he played 23 games getting 2 goals and 1 assist, but also 5 clean sheets. Napoli had a very impressive Champions League run and also played very well in the Coppa Italia, beating Juventus to win the tournament. Again, he's only just been added to the database, so only 0.4% of players have selected him, and similar players consist of Kante, Dyer, Ndidi and Don Decker from Wolves. His base position is a CDM, but likes to play in a centre mid position to push forward and play through balls through the back lines. He's very good at dribbling, tackling and also his passing, but his heading and final third contribution can be seen as a little bit of a weakness. But in this Everton side, I see him playing in a defensive mid position, so that one plays a disadvantage to his game. Everton's first 5 games are Tottenham, West Brom, Crystal Palace, Brighton and Liverpool. Sandwiched in between the Tottenham and Liverpool games are 3 very winnable games for Everton, and I can see Allan for only £5.5 million possibly cropping up with a few assists. Carlo Ancelotti thought highly of Allan, and I can see him playing first team football for many of the first 5 games, including the big games against Tottenham and Liverpool. Finally, we'll move on to the 4th player, who is Callum Wilson. This is a recent transfer, and for £20 million, Newcastle have bought the former Bournemouth man to the Premier League once again. Last season he played 35 games, he got 8 goals and 3 assists, as well as 9 yellow cards. Bournemouth had a very bad season last season, but despite that, Callum Wilson was very consistent throughout, but lacked the creativity and finishing ability to gain goals for the relegated side. He only plays that striker role, but Newcastle need a new striker since Joe Linton last season was very underwhelming. Similar players consist of Vardy, Ings, and as well as that, Joe Linton himself. He's not been added to the database yet, and so no one's really been able to pick him. His strengths include his pace, finishing and defensive contributions, but his weaknesses also consist of his finishing due to it being very inconsistent, attacking movement as he's always offside, passing and hold-up play as he loses the ball very often. He does commit a lot of fouls, he makes the attacking runs, and he's also a decent free kick threat. Newcastle's first 5 games are very difficult, and I can see them picking up a few points, but maybe not being as dominant as you want them to be. Out of a possible 25 points, Newcastle's ratings for the first 5 games are rated 15 out of 25, meaning that they've got pretty difficult games, but not too difficult and a few winnable results. My estimate for Wilson will be around £6.5 million, and to put him into your side as sort of a backup striker who might get you a few goals here and there, I think he should be sitting on your bench. And there we have it, another roundup of transfers for you to put into your side. Let me know who you will be putting into your side out of these 4 players. I suspect Havertz for only £8.5 million. He's pretty much a guaranteed player to pick up assists and goals this season. If you did like the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I shall catch you in the next episode. Ciao.